Hi, my name's Matt Locke, and this is the Everyday Athlete Podcast, the podcast for the everyday athletes around the world who refuse to be average and who want to create a legacy of health, fitness, and achievement in every aspect of their life. I'm glad you're here, and once again, it's time to forge your future. So, Max Cathcart, welcome to the Everyday Athlete Podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. Whereabouts in the world are you right now?
I am in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It is starting to get very cold.
Yeah, we're sort of polar opposites, aren't we? When we chatted last week, it was we're starting to warm up here, as you're definitely not.
Mhm.
You're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, yeah, we're switching with you guys. So
And how's everything going from a COVID situation where you are?
it's it's up and down. I mean, it's you get little weeks where it's everyone kind of freaks out and cases might go a little higher, and then it seems to tighten down a bit, and then it'll kind of peter out and get more relaxed, I guess you'd say. Less people wearing masks and stuff like that, but it's doing pretty good. Restaurants are pretty well open, and yeah, like capacity wise, I think they're letting more people in. But same with the gym situation. Obviously, I pay a lot of attention to that, and I'm glad those are opened. And they're not really, well, where I am, they're not really seeing how many people come in and out. They're kind of just letting it flow, which is really nice too. And there's no mat, like you don't have to wear any masks or anything like that. So that's a
Sure,
nice touch. But
sure. Very good. Now you mentioned the gym, so that's quite a nice segue into. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, and what's your backstory, mate?
yeah, so we'll start with the backstory. I guess I'm a nutritionist right now. I help high level entrepreneurs balance their health and with their business, just to get better results in their daily life and also in their business, just mental clarity, bring up their performance. And then obviously their secondary goal, which would be building or losing, um, obviously there. But so how I got started into it, I was introduced into supplements very early age, and through coaches and everything like that when I was playing hockey. Um, I would have been about 15 years old there, and that's when I got my first job in a supplement store as well. And so I really started learning about supplements and what they do and how do they bring you value if they do. And then really that's when I started transitioning into the nutrition side. So I really wanted to figure out um, how much nutrition played a role in changing your body as well and your performance. Mainly just because I heard through whoever it was that like, hey, like this is what you want to focus on. You don't really want to focus on the other things right now, or we would call accessories. So that's kind of how I got introduced into it. I was playing a lot of hockey too, so it was something that I wanted to see what I could do to bring up my performance as well and my recovery along with it. As you get a little bit older and you start playing at higher levels too, it's like you got 2 games a week plus 2 practices, and then you have like a dry land session in there. So your body's getting pretty run down. But that's where I first started. That was kind of like the focus on. As soon as I turned into 18, that's kind of when the focus shifted from hockey and performance into just all around lifestyle, and kind of I wanted to build a body that I wanted. I was a really skinny guy, so this was like my straight, just really driven at like, hey, I want to build a lot of muscle, and really go from there. And that's pretty much been from there. That's what it's been for
Yeah,
me.
sure, absolutely. Now you, if I'm correct, your first job would it be was at Popeye's Supplements?
Yeah, it's called Popeye Supplements. It's a Canadian supplement brand. Just selling all sorts of supplements. Your proteins, and you got your pre-workouts and all the goodies there. But yeah, that was the first job. I started that at like 15 or 16. Family friends, I think, with the owner, and so he let me come down and try it out. And obviously, I was super interested in it because I was already really into fitness anyway. So it was a
Yeah,
pretty
sure.
smooth transition, and it was easy to do and learn.
Yeah, sure. Now look, I mean, not only in Canada, around the world, it's just, I don't know the numbers, but it's obviously a massive industry and growing rapidly. Um,
Yeah.
but I know that there are
Yeah.
some schools of thought that not all supplements are equal and or even necessary at all. So, I mean, you obviously talk us through what you know, when you first got into it and you were experimenting and sort of
Hmm.
hardcore into supplements, let's say, what did that look like? I mean,
Yeah, no,
interesting.
it was definitely, it was super interesting. Thank God that I worked there, so I didn't have to really, I could either pay cost of the product or it was samples directly from whichever company it was. Like they would send you a ton of samples, so we would tend to use those as it was okay for me. For the average guy, I mean, if you're taking as much, um, like as much as like an athlete or someone just in that realm, I mean, you're going to be racking up quite a bit for every month. But so experimenting with that, yeah, it was definitely interesting. Um, it's the more I studied it, the more I kind of figured not necessarily it didn't work. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it didn't have an impact on what I was trying to do as much as I thought it would do. So I was taking, as I mentioned before, I was a little bit skinnier. So I was taking like a mass gainer thing. I was taking creatine. There was pre-workouts funneling through there. Of course, I wasn't taking any vitamins or anything like that because I was like, that's a waste, even though that should be like the first one. Yeah, like definitely a few different types of proteins for different activities or timings throughout the day. BCAs, like there was a list, and I think I racked up probably like I was probably taking at least 10 different things a day.
Wow.
Um, and that only ran for like 2 years before I started like weeding it out and realizing that like, hey, once I started noticing the nutrition playing like a huge role, and the difference just from that after canceling out so many different supplements through there, it was, yeah, it just kind of, it faded away to from where I am now. I mean, there's very few that I take. It's like probiotics, multivitamins, and then a protein powder if I'm running behind on meals or whatever. But for me, food is king, and it always will be for sure.
Sure. It's interesting, isn't it? As you say that, as you did, you kind of didn't really pay attention to the nutrition side of it so much as
Yeah.
it was just about, I guess, chasing the promise that each of these different supplements offer. Out of interest, when you were
Yeah.
taking, you know, the 10 different supplements a day, did you feel any differently when you came off them?
No, you would tend to, no, not at all. You would just, when you're actually taking that many too, you just feel like you don't feel good. Like you're always like bloated with whatever. You're just always pumping whatever it is, pills down, right? There's lots of different things. But yeah, like even like there's like all the fat burners and stuff like that that'll make you feel really weird and jittery depending on like the caffeine amount in them, and all like those are thermogenics. And then you have, yeah, there's just like a lot of natural stuff too. But it's just, you kind of gotta, if you want to take supplements, you just got to figure out which ones you really need, and then kind of start from there and see if you notice a difference. But the main thing I would say is don't take that many at once, but just try focus on one for X amount of time and see if it played a difference in your life. See if
Yep.
you feel difference, if you feel better. If you're taking 3 or 4, you don't know which one's actually making you feel better or perform better. You just don't know. So it's better if you want to take them one by one for X amount. I would probably say like a month or two, and then see how that goes from there. Either it worked or did something, or it didn't.
No,
So
absolutely. Yeah, sure. I mean, trial and error. It's, yeah. At the end of the day,
yeah,
we're all individual, and what may
yeah,
cause some sort of benefit for you may be different for me, and
yeah,
vice versa. So there's no better
100.
way than trying it, as long as it's a safe product in the first place.
Yeah,
Hope it is if it's being sold legitimately in any of the Western countries. Um, so now you said that these days you're much more focused on a whole food diet.
yeah. So it's been like that for quite a while. I would probably say since 18, 19, no, probably, yeah, 18 years old is when it was. That's when I just hit that switch, and I was like, this is what needs to be done. This is kind of what's gonna either like bring you up, or you're gonna stay the same kind of deal. So a lot of studying, a lot of research into that. A lot of trial and error stuff on myself as well, just trying, seeing what foods work best with me, amounts wise as well, like seeing how much I should be eating or how much I can eat. At that point, it was seeing how much I could eat, because we all know when you're trying to gain that like just mass in general, and you have a fast metabolism, you're younger, you're playing this much hockey already. I mean, there's a lot of food that you need to eat, like lots.
Sure.
So it was all, I was always eating. That's definitely what I remember. But no, it was good. Um, but yeah, it was funny because my coach just thought like, oh, he's taking this like this hockey thing like pretty serious. And I mean, I was, but like my focus was completely somewhere else, because they would see how hard I trained, and like I would be training on dry land, but then I would also with the team, but then I would also be training after that as well, like by myself in the weights. And but yeah, it's just my vision was elsewhere. So the whole food diet definitely was what made the difference for sure,
Yeah,
just with
sure.
feeling better along with results.
Bit of a sidestep momentarily, but when we talk about hockey, just so everyone's clear, we're talking about ice hockey because you're in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yeah.
So, so ice hockey. When did you fit in your boxing training to help you with your hockey?
When did I do that?
Well, ice hockey is not just about ice hockey, right?
Oh, that's no. We actually, it's funny you say that though, because we used to go to a place, I don't remember what it was called, but for our dry lands, like once a month we would go to a boxing gym, and
That's
they would
hilarious.
teach us that. Plus plus they would do like the intense cardio,
Yeah,
just crazy hit workouts as well. And we were doing that pretty young as well, but yeah, it was good stuff for sure.
yeah, no, absolutely, good skills.
Yeah,
Um, so fast forward to where we are today. So you referenced to the turning point for you was around 18, 19, and you are what, 26
yeah,
at the moment?
I am.
And
Yeah.
obviously you're certainly very, very busy running a number of businesses.
Yeah, I got my one nutrition, and then I have this one called O Club Manufacture with my brother as well. So we both run this one together.
Sure. So you're a busy guy, no question.
Very.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And so what does training look like for you at the moment? I guess for a lot of our audience are everyday athletes. We all go to work. We all have home commitments, life commitments, and so on, yet are for sure trying to, making time to train and to take care of ourselves and be healthy and happy. So I'm keen to hear how you balance everything. I mean, the photographs on your website, I don't know how recent they are, but I mean, you certainly, you've obviously got an awesome physique and you look incredibly strong, and how you
Thank you.
maintain that whilst
Yeah.
running businesses and everything else. Keen to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it kind of depends on which way I'm going for look wise as well. So if it's a cutting season, then there's obviously a lot more that goes into it, and I'm putting a lot more hours, which I still do pretty close to what I was doing for that. And I'll probably carry on for quite a while into that as well, like this year. But let's say it was off season, I want to do like an 8-month bulk or something like that. That one was relatively simple. I would just go for an hour and a half in the morning or so, and I'm done for the day. First thing in the morning, it would either be 6 or 7 or around there, and then I'd be on the computer doing all the work stuff at 9, 8 or 9, and then I would be at 4. I would stop the computer stuff and then go to the shop or whatever else we need to do for the manufacturer, and work till probably usually about 10 o'clock, and that's it. But first thing in the morning for me is the best. Like if you feel good after, it's my head feels a lot clearer as well. You get hydrated, you get a lot more water in the morning, you get your brain running, ready to just tackle the day for sure. So I'm definitely a morning guy. Late, I just feel I already just don't want to go when it's late. Like if I worked out at 10, I've done it before quite a few times, but that was probably because I was in a bind and I needed to get it in. So definitely not my first choice, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to fitting it all in, your best friend is going to be your schedule. That is what it's going to come down to, especially entrepreneurs as well. Like they tend to have some flexibility within office hours, I guess you would say, and you can kind of leave when you want and move stuff around. Like you can work later or earlier, whatever it is. So we just have to really break down your time and look at where it's going and I'm sure you have the time there. I can promise that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to dive into, we're going to have another chat. And we're going to dive into the whole topic of creating habits, health.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but in terms of your nutrition at the moment, I mean, do you do a big cook up once a week and meal prep, or how does that work for you?
Yeah. So I do 2 times a week. I don't want my food sitting there for 6 days
Yep.
or so, right? And then you have to freeze maybe 2 days worth or something, and it just turns out gross. So I usually do every Sunday and Wednesday are my prep days. The day before that is when I get groceries as well. Just very routine with how I do it. I've scheduled everything like that. I know how long it takes to make those meals, but I keep 2 of them at home and I keep 2 on the road with me during the day. All very simple meals. I really like just keeping it simple. It's not too complicated. I eat pretty much the same things every day. I like what I eat every day as well. And yeah, like these foods that I'm eating still right now, I've probably had for the past 3-4 years, like straight. I mean, I'll go out for dinners on weekends and whatnot, but for the most part, this is what I eat. I like it and it works for me. And it just brings down the confusion and trying to figure out tracking and trying to whatever, so like I know exactly how much to cook. I know it brings this much value and I know I can stay within my calorie goals or my macro goals, whatever it is. And it's really easy for me to do that. So that's the way I do it. It's not for everyone.
No, but that's a key point, isn't it? The fact that you've simplified it, streamlined it and
Yeah.
simplified it, which means it's more attainable, more sustainable.
Yeah. It's sustainable. That's the thing. You want to find out what really works for you and stick to it. I mean, if it's tracking through MyFitnessPal, then all to you. I mean, I couldn't do that. I would go nuts. But I mean, over the years,
I'm doing it at the moment.
Yeah.
Working with a sports nutritionist, Jen Ryan, just because I've got a few goals I'd like to kick, and I'm sort of making a shift
Yeah.
in terms of my habits,
Yeah.
physique, and strength gains, and so on. And it's interesting. I find it a pain in the bum tracking.
Yeah. So there's a few different ways. Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a few different ways to go about it. We can get into later as well, but just making it as simple as you can is going to be obviously the king to your progress.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Sustaining that progress as well. So whatever it is, just find what's going to work for you, and then how much more effective can you do it, or faster, or whatever it is. That's what I would kind of look at it.
Yeah,
especially if you're so.
Max, I'm conscious of time. You've mentioned already that as a nutritionist, is something that you offer. You offer that as an online service. Do you work with people overseas and different parts of the country?
Yeah, so I have people from Sweden. There's there's everywhere like that, all over the world. It's online based, and it's just you come to my page, you fill out applications, and then we kind of just take it from there.
Yeah, sure. So what page would they go to? How would people get in touch with you?
So Instagram would be at Max Cathcart, or you can go to my website and it's just maxcathcart.com. The email's just my last name, first name at gmail.com. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, again, keeping things super simple. I love it.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we put all of those links in the show notes, of course. And looking forward to our next chat. Thank you for this one.
Yes, thank you.
And until next time.
Yes, we will talk soon.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Thanks very much for listening. And if you've enjoyed this, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell icon so you get notified every time we upload a new episode. And if you think that one of your training buddies would also enjoy this, go ahead and share it with them right now. With that said, thank you once again, and as always, be brave, have fun, and lead by example.